that we had given yesterday. With that having been said, Senator, proceed to read the order.
Order number 11, motion, the current state of the nation.
Senator Beth Siengwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak to this motion. I stand to support the motion on the current state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, allow me to pass my sincere condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones, and also to wish quick recovery to those who are still in hospitals with the gun wounds and other injuries. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to thank the leadership of this House, the majority leader, the minority leader, and all the senators who came together and said this is important, that we distinguish ourselves as a House. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable members, may the good senator be heard in silence, please. Proceed, Senator Beth.
Thank you, sir. I would say that as the Women League president in this country, I'm a mother, and I feel the pain that the mothers in this nation feel. I stand with all the families that were affected. And Mr. Speaker, noting the situation in the country, how life is so difficult, the cost of living is high. It is really unbearable because of the problems, issues bedeviling our country. As the women president, I want to assure all the women who lost their children that we are with you and we feel your pain. We share the grief and we are ready to work with you to get solutions to the issues in this country. Mr. Speaker, those who spoke yesterday, my colleagues who spoke yesterday, they alluded to the issues that are affecting our country. Taking department by department or institution by institution, in education, our children are learned. Many are graduates from different universities, but they are jobless. They are tarmacking. And looking at the education system in the country, there's a lot of challenges. Confusion in JSS teachers who are not employed. CBC curriculum that is not properly defined. Issues concerning how the new system is being implemented. Those are issues Kenyans are looking at. I want to congratulate the Gen Z who took the lead to open eyes of so many and say there are problems in this nation that needs urgent attention. Mr. Speaker, in the health sector, issues of confusion shifting from NHIF to SHIF to whatever, something that Kenyans cannot hold on. They have been promised universal health care. That is not happening. These are problems the Gen Z have also seen, as many of us have been saying. The economy that is suffering. We would wish as Kenyans to see GPD to grow by 2 digits if possible. But where are we? Our economy is affected by corruption and so many other issues. In agriculture, Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of problems. I am a member of Agriculture Committee in this Senate. And as a committee, when the issue of the fake fertilizer came up, as a committee, we went to the ground. We interacted with farmers. We got seeds of the fertilizer, fake fertilizer, where Kenyans were given stones and pieces of donkeys. We called the stakeholders who were concerned. They came in this chamber. We took them through what we had found out. Mr. Speaker, we have tried even to write a report that is yet to be concluded. And we found all indicators were showing the CS for agriculture is culpable. Why is he not sacked up to date? The police brutality. Mr. Speaker, it's so painful. On that fateful Tuesday, we were out when we got out as the Gen Z invaded these premises. I remember I was with my colleague senators here, Senator for Nairobi, Senator Catherine Muma, and we witnessed as the soldiers, the policemen were shooting our innocent, unarmed young men and women. Mr. Speaker, I remember I knelt down before one killer policeman. I confronted him and asked him, why is he killing an armed, innocent young man? Mr. Speaker, it was so hurting as a mother. That policeman looked at me and told me, Senator, get behind me. These are crooks and criminals from Kibra. The student who was being pursued removed his identification card, a student from a university. But the policeman could not hear anything of that. He shot the man dead. It was so painful. Why should we have police who should keep law and order in the country, protect citizens and property, killing our young men and women? Mr. Speaker, it has been said, and it was said yesterday by many of my colleagues, on the wastage in this government. Kenyans who are suffering, they have no jobs, they are tarmacking for over 10 years, they have nothing to put on the table in the evening. They are seeing all this. More than 20, 30 vehicles in a convoy of our leadership, of leaders in this nation. It pains to see how our resources are wasted, yet people are suffering. Unemployment has already been mentioned, and it is making our people suffer more. When those who are in a position to employ, Mr. Speaker, they are practicing nepotism and tribalism. You get to an institution, and somebody who is in a position to employ has brought relatives or people from his community, they are leading. I'm also in this house in the Committee of National Cohesion, Equal Opportunities, and Regional Integration. Mr. Speaker, we have called so many heads of institutions to come before us. And what is the repeated issue? That we find out people employed in those institutions come from at least 2 tribal groups or communities. They take 73%, they take 80%, leaving the rest of the Kenyans to struggle for 15% or maybe 20%. What are we telling our people in Kenya? It is so bad. Impunity. When people refuse to obey court orders, what are we communicating to those young people and all Kenyans looking at us? Corruption. Where, Mr. Speaker, we have new billionaires in town. Since the takeover of the current administration, I hear even in this house we have new billionaires. Where are the rest of Kenyans when we have new billionaires and Kenyans are suffering? And they are billionaires courtesy of corruption. Tendering processes, they are so skilled for specific people to make money. When a few are making money and a majority are suffering, what are we telling Kenyans? That Kenya has become like what we call the animal farm? Mr. Speaker, I would request that you intervene again and request the senators
Order. Senator Enoch and Senator Mogeni. The senator speaking.
Kindly allow me to give my submissions, and you can continue conversing and making your arrangements.
Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was saying before I lose my point that corruption is so rampant in this nation, and Kenyans are looking at us and saying people are getting into leadership so that they may take advantage of those positions and make money. It is wrong. Kenyans are hurting when they see very few people who become billionaires, while majority or masses are suffering. Mr. Speaker, lack of inclusivity is very serious. As I have stated, where I sit in the Committee of Equal Opportunities, and we see Kenyans not given chance. They are not employed. When their employment positions or chances, they are given to people from specific ethnic communities. Mr. Speaker, my heart sank when I confronted one CEO of a certain institution in this nation. And when I asked her, why do you have only 2 tribes getting the big chunk of positions in this institution? She told me, sometimes, madam, we are under instructions. We are asked, when you do your employment or recruitment, you should know where the government belongs. Very sad. Mr. Speaker, when the leader of majority, who is now making noise with the senator for Nyandarua, kindly allow me to draw your attention, leader of majority. Yesterday you became an angel. I know you are born again. You are a new brother in Christ. I really appreciate that, majority leader. Kindly allow me to draw your attention that yesterday, or when we were conversing about this, you gave direction that as we speak of the problems and the issues affecting the country, we should also make proposals of what we think should be done to move Kenya forward. Allow me to start by saying, although I know many said it, but I would say the president may be well-meaning for this nation, but he has missed the mark in getting wrong people in good positions, those who should serve this country. Mr. Speaker, my first proposal is to request the president, in all due respect, to sack incompetent CSs. Those who have failed this nation, those who are carrying letters to funerals, to public rallies, and dishing out employment letters as if the rest of Kenyans do not need employment. And many those who have also meant us to get fertilizers, which is fake, and other evils. Mr. Speaker, my second one would be to request, if it is possible, not to have ghost workers in this nation. When I hear of a position like Prime Cabinet Minister, unconstitutional, I would declare that he is a ghost worker, drawing salary from Kenyan taxes. Unconstitutional offices should not be funded by public funds. To curb corruption, Mr. Speaker, is my third proposal. Let us be truthful. Let us be truthful. Let the government be truthful and stop those who are corrupt. Let us see serious action taken, people put to jail. When prominent people are put behind the bars, then people will fear, others will fear to practice corruption or to do corruption. Mr. Speaker, I would request, is it possible in this country, and I know I have lawyers in this house, to have designated areas for picketing? Because issues will be happening in this nation. And constitutional Kenyans are allowed to picket and to demonstrate peacefully. Can we have designated areas where people can picket? It has been done elsewhere. Can it be done in Kenya, Mr. Speaker? I would also request, is it possible because of police brutality to have retraining of our police officers to know how to handle demonstrators, especially peaceful people who are demonstrating peacefully, like the Gen Z was doing, only armed with a bottle of water, a flag, and their phones? Why should they be killed? Mr. Speaker, if not to retrain our officers, can we have a special unit to deal with the maandamano in this nation so that we don't witness bloodshed? Mr. Speaker, if the president, to me and to what we are saying, let him sack the Inspector General of Police. Or if Koome is patriotic enough, let him resign now.
Senator Beth Siango, just hold. Can you pause her time, please? Is there a senator listening to some video through their phone? Senator Boni, you're totally out of order. Totally out of order. I'll just give you a caution for the day. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I was interrupted by the majority whip, Senator Boni Alwale, I was saying that if Koome is patriotic enough, he should resign today because he has failed this nation. Mr. Speaker, my other proposal would be respectively asking the president to continue listening to Kenyans. It is important to listen and not to display tendencies of dictatorship or arrogance. Kenyans are watching. He should be the unifying factor of this nation. All Kenyans, those who voted for him, those who did not vote for him like me, we want to have him as the father figure of this nation, and he should lead all of us, but not to dictate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my other proposal would be, if possible, let institutions of this independent to be independent institutions. We don't want to witness state capture of National Assembly, state capture of the judiciary, state capture of legislation. Please, let's have independent institutions work and actualize their mandate as independent institutions in this nation. Mr. Speaker, I would propose also, if Kenyans are going to be taxed, can we see the work that money is doing? Why should be people, Mr. Speaker, I can see and hear the voice of Senator of Busia competing with my voice. I don't know what is happening, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Omtata, you're interfering with the flow of thoughts of the senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. Let the rule of law be followed, Mr. Speaker. And when we give proposals here and suggestions, Mr. Speaker, I would be one of those who really want to see the outcome of what we are doing. Today is the second day in a row when we are debating on this. And the issues we are raising, the issues Kenyans have raised, and Mr. Speaker, the proposals we are giving, we want to know whether it could be just a PR or something is going to be done to liberate this country and make sure that we have prosperity and peace moving forward. Mr. Speaker, I would say that as Kenyans and as leaders in this country, we must be responsible. Take responsibility of our actions, our ways, our...
Senator Siango, just 1 minute to wind up your thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would say that I know the Gen Z had demanded that Ruto must go. I would urge the Gen Z to give dialogue a chance, if it will work. But if the president does not listen, does not change, does not implement what we are proposing here, then he must go. Thank you.
Senator Mundegi.